that we were going to get our cul-de-sac space back. We just had this really great experience and situation with the cul-de-sac in Vegas. And so now it's like, that, like, what does it mean and what's it going to look like? And,
Is Janelle thinking of building, or do you even know?
Robyn, where do I even begin? I'll admit it. At first, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I kept thinking maybe she's just really, really clueless. But after the whole Coyote Pass fiasco, I started to see the pattern, and let me tell you, it's crystal clear now. She doesn't know anything. Not about what Kody did, not about how anyone feels, not about what anyone thinks. She's the queen of I have no idea what's going on. And at first, I thought it was genuine, but now? Oh no, it's a well-crafted tactic. There's this saying in my country, the more you play the fool, the more you get away with it. And yeah, Robyn's mastered it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. She's just the sweet, shy wife who always seems to not understand what's going on around her, even though she somehow always manages to come out of it looking like the innocent victim. Cue the tears. Seriously, she's like a walking, talking emotional disclaimer. I don't know what's happening. I'm just so confused. And oh, her need to always appear like the good, pure one. That's the real goal. She'll cry, act confused, and play dumb just to make sure everyone around her believes she's the saint in this mess. I'm not the only one who's caught on either. Janelle pointed it out years ago. Robyn always seems confused about what's going on. Really? You don't say? Because it's not like she's ever remembered anything either. Take that test incident, remember that? Christine had to take it for her because Robyn didn't remember doing it. Classic. Just like she conveniently forgets all the other key moments and emotions happening around her. And don't even get me started on her offer to have a baby for Meri. Oh, sure, super selfless. Totally not manipulative. I've never trusted her from day one, and this just solidified it. She's always playing the role of the perpetually shocked, confused, heartbroken character, and it's exhausting. Just once, I'd love to see her remember something or actually know what's going on. But of course, I'll just be stuck watching her and her poor, oblivious daughters navigate life with the same tired expressions of being shocked, confused, and frustrated. So yeah, can't stand it anymore. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Janelle's RV situation on Season 17 is just one of those moments that perfectly highlights the hypocrisy and selfishness of the other wives. Here she is, trying to live her life in the RV she bought, and Meri and Robyn can't stop whining about her parking it on their empty lots. I mean, seriously, they preach about family unity and sticking together. But when it's time to actually be supportive, it's like they forget how to be decent human beings. It's almost like they think they're the only ones who matter. Janelle's trying to figure out her own living situation, and all they can think about is how it inconveniences them. Classic. Let's not forget, every time they've moved, one of them has had housing issues. And what's the first thing they do? Not offer a spare bedroom to each other, that's for sure. They just tolerate each other and pretend like they're all friends. But real friendship? Nah, that's not in the cards for this group. And Kody? Oh, Kody. When he wants something, he makes it happen. The guy's got a whole toolbox of creative lies and reasons to get what he wants. He probably would have come up with some elaborate excuse about how every lot needed an RV pad just to get things done. But that wasn't the goal. The real reason? He didn't want Janelle to build on her lot in the first place. He probably had Meri and Robyn in his ear, hyping up the downsides of her having the RV on their lots, stirring the pot. Then, of course, he goes to Janelle and gives her the classic, "You need permission" first line, even though he's the co-owner of all her lots. You'd think he'd step in and back her up, but nope. He was too busy being his usual unsupportive self. The rejection of Janelle's RV parking was just cold. Seriously, what was the harm in her parking it there? The lots were going to be reconfigured anyway. It wasn't like anyone was working on their lots, so who cares? It's not like the RV was going to destroy anything aesthetically. And yet, there's Kody letting his wives stew over it instead of putting his foot down and making sure Janelle felt supported. Honestly, this whole thing seems like it was just made-up drama for the show. The lot that Meri technically owns is also partially in Janelle and Kody's name, so Janelle could have parked her RV there without needing anyone's permission. But no, the drama had to happen. And don't even get me started on Janelle spending all that money on the RV. What a waste. Did it appreciate in value? No. So dumb. In Season 15, Episode 11, Kody truly outdid himself when he flatly refused to accompany Ysabel to New Jersey for her spinal surgery. Instead, he suggested that his teenage daughter, in excruciating pain, should just hop on a plane alone, undergo life-changing surgery, and face a brutal recovery all by herself. Classic Kody. Christine, trying to hold it together, must have been fighting the urge to drag him across the patio and rip out whatever hair he had left. But ever the mom, she knew her priority was comforting her daughter, not giving Kody the beatdown he desperately deserved. So in a futile attempt to reassure Ysabel, Christine says, "It's not that you're not important." Translation: please don't think your dad doesn't care, because I'm trying really hard to make this sound like he does. But Kody, ever the charmer, pipes up with, "Really, it's not Ab," and trails off. The man was literally about to tell his suffering teenage daughter that the decision to get spinal surgery wasn't about her. Oh, the audacity. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. That moment was a new low, even for Kody. Later, he admitted, if I remember correctly, that he let his petty feelings toward Christine cloud his judgment. As if that somehow justifies using his daughter as a pawn in his miserable game of "I'll show her." Yeah, that just made it worse. He thought Christine was playing games by wanting him to go with Ysabel, as if it wasn't his own daughter desperately in need of support. But sure, he's just fine with Aurora quarantining a few feet away in the basement and sobbing about missing her, yet his actual daughter, who needed him to be there for something life-altering, should do it alone. At that point, Kody was officially irredeemable. There's no coming back from this level of selfishness. He had the audacity to call it a vacation, then suggested Ysabel go alone, and didn't even bother to help when she came home. To top it all off, he then has the nerve to ask Ysabel if she's mad, and if she was going to turn into a bitter old housewife. The nerve, and Robyn, the one who supposedly speaks Kody, not once did she step in and tell him to get his act together. That says it all. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that Robyn is the trash compactor of this entire mess. Let's talk about Dayton, or, the name he prefers. So, here's the thing. The only people who still insist on calling him Dayton are Robyn and Kody. He calls himself David. His adopted half-brothers call him David. We should probably follow their lead, don't you think? It's really not that complicated. And just to clear up the confusion, it's Dayton, not Dayton. Got it? Wait, so Robyn just decided to change his name from David to Dayton after her divorce from her first husband? Interesting theory, but no, that's not how it went down. Here's the real deal. He's not exactly a public figure anymore, but when he went by Dayton. And since we don't actually have direct access to his thoughts, surprising, I know, we have no idea if he's using a different name now or what. But honestly, at this point, calling him David because someone heard it secondhand or thirdhand is just kind of, well, silly. Let's be real. The guy's barely been on the show in years, and it seems pretty clear that he'd like everyone to just stop talking about him. Whether he's Dayton, David, or seriously, stop talking about me. It's pretty obvious he's not interested in being a topic of discussion for his parents' TV show or random strangers online. I can't say I'm exactly thrilled that Kody's kids can't stand him, but there's definitely something a little satisfying about it. I mean, sure, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, But from what TLC shows us, it's clear that most of the older kids aren't even speaking to him. Ouch. It's not so much that it gives me joy though, it's more like a bittersweet relief that they're finally seeing the truth. Still, it's a sad truth. It honestly breaks my heart for them that their dad and granddad couldn't step up. They all deserved so much more than the scraps of affection he throws their way. No kid should ever have to guard their heart from their own grandparents, and that situation just doesn't sit right with me. I don't get any pleasure from that at all. In an ideal world, Kody wouldn't be this, well, obviously terrible. Kody's speech about sacrifices in Season 16, Episode 7, was something else. He sat there, all self-righteous, telling Janelle, "I'm making all the sacrifices," like he's some kind of martyr. Meanwhile, he's really asking everyone else to fall in line with his ego-driven demands. What's his idea of sacrifice? Oh, just sacrificing his wives and kids at the altar of his own inflated sense of self-worth. And let's not forget the sacred altar of Robyn and her kids too. It's all about the Kody-Robyn dynasty. He's basically saying the family can't exist unless they all bow down to his vision of family life. Christine wasn't having any of it though. She was done playing that game. Worship Kody's ego. Yeah, right. Worship Robyn too? Not on your life. All those sacrifices Kody was making, totally wasted on him. And speaking of Kody, his comments about his sons and their girlfriends. Disgusting. The guy really thinks that is how you talk about your family. He reduced those girls to nothing more than an object for his son's hormonal needs on national television. If I were one of those girls' moms, I'd have slapped the smug out of him. Honestly, it's no wonder people don't like Kody or Robyn. They disrespected and used people for their own convenience. Kody can't figure out why his sons won't speak to him, but he made it clear on TV that he thinks they're just using their girlfriends for sex. Seriously? If the dads of those girls had seen what Kody said, there's no way he would have gotten away with it. Where I come from, that would have ended with a serious confrontation. But here's the kicker. Kody didn't make any sacrifices. He used the pandemic as an excuse to spend all his time with Robyn, because that's where he wanted to be. He set up these ridiculous rules, but if Janelle and Christine had followed them, he would have just changed the goalposts. Oh, you didn't do XYZ, so now I can't spend time with you. Classic Kody. It was all about him getting control and proving he was the most important. Meanwhile, Meri did everything he asked and was still left out in the cold, stuck on the family's sidelines. And don't even get me started on the COVID protocols. Kody insisted on all these rules, except for the fact that Robyn had a nanny coming and going every day, along with her husband, who was also going out and about. Sure, let's keep everyone else isolated, but the nanny and her husband? Not a problem, apparently. Was the nanny doing the shopping for Robyn's house and her own? Extra risk? Anyone? But Kody never seemed to notice or care. Instead of thinking logically, he kept making it all about control. Kody is the textbook definition of an emotionally stunted adult. Emotionally immature, self-absorbed, and completely incapable of having a real, honest conversation with anyone. His behavior, it's like living in an alternate reality where he's always right, and everyone else is just supposed to follow his lead. You'd think he'd realize by now how out of touch he is, but nope. In my humble opinion, the entire Brown family, well, all 5 of the adults, are basically just children in adult bodies. Seriously, they're all dysfunctional, selfish, and behave like they've never heard of maturity. Some do it more than others, obviously, but let's be real, they all play a part in this mess. But if we're giving out awards for who's the absolute worst, Kody's got that one locked down. I lost all respect for them when they decided to uproot their kids from what seemed like a perfect setup in Vegas. Sure, they claim it was for family reasons, or some other vague excuse, but let's call a spade a spade. It was because Robyn wanted to move to Flagstaff to be closer to Dayton, who was off at college. I mean, at least a couple of the older kids have come out and said that's why they moved. There might have been other factors, like maybe no one liked the heat in Vegas, but come on, that's clearly the driving force. Oh, and don't even get me started on Logan and Aspen. I mean, sure, I get it. They're actually competent parents. I guess we can give them credit for not following the dysfunctional family trend. Now, about the whole purity culture thing. I can't help but wonder if other people raised in it have the same baggage. Because honestly, all the communication breakdowns, rushing into relationships with people they barely know, and clinging to these half-baked covenants that they've somehow mistaken for real connections, seems like a direct result of never being allowed to date or explore who they are. Seriously, dating teaches you what you need in a partner and what you can bring to the table. Instead, they're pushed into these serious commitments way too young, with zero life experience. It's like they were set up to fail from the start. If you asked me, the whole thing reeks of immaturity, like they were pressured to jump into adulthood before they were even remotely ready for it. Kody checked in with the nanny to figure out what she was actually doing. Oh, and just like everyone else, I'm doing a rewatch of the show. Didn't even notice it until the glorious replay in Season 16, Episode 8. But here's the kicker, in Season 16, Episode 6, around 21:53, there's a scene where everyone gathers to see the list they're supposed to follow. You know, the one that's been in the works for, 6 to 8 months? That list Kody and Robyn only bothered to get specific about after they were finally called out on their vague nonsense. So Kody says, well, I basically wrote down the rules that we have for our nanny. He hands out the papers and, plot twist, turns to Robyn and awkwardly asks if she wants one. Because, of course, he can't even keep her story straight. What a genius move. It was cringeworthy enough that even Meri, who I'm pretty sure was either a little drunk or high this season, and honestly, good for her, had to point out the obvious. She goes, you know, those rules that you made up? Immediately, you could feel the shame ripple across her. She said the thing that was clearly off limits, the thing no one was supposed to talk about. But, it was also the obvious, glaring issue at hand. And as if that wasn't enough, Kody, in all his brilliance, follows up with, I just checked with our nanny and said, what are you doing? So now we're left to wonder, did Kody deflect blame onto the nanny to shield Robyn? Or was he genuinely just asking the poor woman what Robyn told her to do? I mean, it's hard to tell when he's such a walking disaster. After I nearly choked on my drink, I couldn't stop laughing. But seriously, if these were Kody's and Robyn's rules, why the heck would they need to get them from the nanny? Shouldn't they know these rules inside and out by this point? They've been following them for over a year, right? It's painfully clear that Kody and Robyn are just manipulative liars. And let's talk about the nanny for a second. Why exactly does Robyn need one? She doesn't even work. She has 3 adult kids and 2 minors. How utterly incompetent do you have to be to not be able to watch 2 kids? It's pretty obvious those rules were never Kody's in the first place. Remember when they had that fire pit meeting with everyone? Kody had zero clue what his own protocols were. Robyn had to constantly remind him of his rules, the ones he supposedly followed for over a year. But here's the kicker. The nanny wasn't even following those rules either. This was all Robyn's doing, and she thought she was being slick by passing it off as Kody's. Instead of just being honest and admitting that she was scared and trying to figure things out with the family she supposedly wants to be a part of, Robyn just lied. And Kody, well, Kody knew everyone saw right through the act. He looked like a total wimp, so of course, he doubled down, got angrier, and made everything worse. Classic Kody. Did anyone else find it super annoying how Kody handled Christine's mom moving in? He acted like a total baby about the whole thing. Honestly, it felt like he was more upset about her moving in because her mother had left a polygamous marriage, and let's be real, Kody probably feared she'd start pointing out how badly he treats all the wives. I mean, who could blame her? And don't even get me started on Robyn. She was so worried about how Christine's mom moving in might affect their sister-wife bond, when Christine already said it was Robyn's fault for messing things up with the nanny situation. Classic Robyn move, trying to deflect the blame onto something totally unrelated. The hypocrisy here is just staggering. Kody knew exactly what was coming. He didn't want Christine's mom around because she definitely noticed the way he doles out his time between the wives and, God forbid, actually call him out for it. Kody's a jerk, and yeah, he probably had a bunch of reasons for not wanting her around. But let's be honest, there are probably tons of guys in normal, functioning marriages who'd cringe at the idea of their mother-in-law moving in, so there's a tiny sliver of relatability there. Still doesn't excuse his behavior though. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.